Hey there, today I will show you how to pack a carry-on suitcase for your next vacation so that you maximize all the space inside it. We are going to test 6 popular packing methods step by step inside my carry-on suitcase. You'll see all of the tops that I've packed, the sweaters, the mid-weight layers that I'm going to pack, as well as my bottom pieces that I'm going to pack. And by the end of this video, you're going to know which method will work for your luggage, your time, and for that specific trip you have to pack for. If you're new here, welcome. I'm a pilot wife and I've had to pack and carry on luggage because we've mostly flown standby for 24 years. Was I looking at the camera or was I looking at the other end? I'm sorry. My microphone is broken, so I'm using this old one, so I have to hold it. I want to show you this new trick with this motorized compression cube that a viewer named Beverly showed me. I packed for Switzerland Christmas markets in Zurich with this cube. I fit all of my clothing, including a long puffer vest, a winter sweater, lots of tops, and a pair of jeans. One benefit that you will notice immediately is that the motor vacuum seals the cube in less than 30 seconds. I noticed minimal wrinkles, especially in my sweater and my puffer jacket or puffer vest. I bought this as soon as I returned home from Greece last summer because my friend raved about it, and a pair of shoes that I've shown lots of times. And there are budget-friendly ones on Amazon that you can test for yourself, but this one is top quality, so I stopped my search. So it may not be worth the investment for you. Another benefit of this kind of cube is that the ends curl up, which means you have more space underneath along the edges to pack maybe a curling iron or a brush or a bar of deodorant. But here is the packing trick that our friend Beverly told us about. Instead of putting everything in your compression cube first, you're going to put the cube inside your suitcase perpendicular to the length of it, and then fold or roll, but you're going to put it in there. When I went to Zurich, I just stuffed everything in and it was fine. Do what works for you. This packing tip right here means that the edges will not curl up and you'll be able to fit this in the bottom half of your suitcase, which means that now you have the top half to pack more things in. And stick around for my pajama trick. So we start with all of our tops, all of our mid-weight layering tops, and my bottom pieces that I need to pack in the suitcase. And remember, this does not count my piece of equipment travel outfit I will wear in the airport. I'm going to have all of my tops in one link for you. I'm going to have all of my bottoms in one link, etc., etc. The next packing method I call the flat lay method, and that's just where you simply pack your items flat inside the shape of one side of your suitcase, and you just layer them up, leaving the sleeves outside. And then you'll notice that the pants might need to go perpendicular to the length of your suitcase. You're just going to treat each packing method like Tetris so that you can practice to see which method helps maximize space for you for that particular trip. When you've stacked everything in there flat, you're going to fold in from each of the sides of your carry-on suitcase, making it one flat top part. The next packing method we want to test is the Ranger roll method. This method is the best for creating compact little bundles to save space in your suitcase. It's a military style. God bless our armed forces, people. So you start with a shirt, let's say, and you're going to flip up the hem 3 inches, especially if it's thicker, larger shirts. Then bring one side toward the other side on top of that middle, and then bring the other side to the other length on top of that. And then simply roll from the neckline down to that hem that you made. Then you're going to pick up your roll and manhandle it. Like you've got to hold it so tightly so that you can flip that hem over the entire bundle. And you can see that it truly maximizes the space inside your carry-on suitcase. And you can even see how I could have more tightly rolled something to make it even a smaller bundle to maximize space in a carry-on suitcase. And let's assume that my undies are packed in the layers of one of these tops. The next step in the Ranger roll is where you have to use very, very tiny rolls. And that's when you are doing pants or jeans. You're going to fold down the waistband 3 inches at least, which is where I made my mistake, I think. One tip is to remember to make sure the pockets and the waistband are all completely flat and not bulging in a wrong place. Now fold one leg side on top of the other length, and then start rolling from the bottom of the legs very, very small, and then flap the waistband over to create a Ranger roll bundle. Now you can stack some of the bundles because you've maximized that space. One trick that I do is if I have a bulky pair of jeans, I just drape them over all of my tops and other essentials when I'm done. I forgot to include my water resistant hiking pants, so I'm going to add those. The rolling method takes more time for me, but you can see that it actually takes up about the same amount of space in a carry-on suitcase. But if that's what you do fastest, then use that. A lot of people think that it decreases the wrinkles. I disagree. You're always going to have a minimal amount of wrinkles. But one thing I noticed very quickly here is that it's easy to stack those rolls so you have levels maybe throughout your whole length of that suitcase. The folding packing method is the fastest for me, but for this test specifically, I want to see which packing method maximizes space in a compression cube. We all know how to fold or roll your clothes. I'm not going to add any specialties to those methods. I want you to notice this right here. When I got to this compression cube, it was going to be too many clothes to fit inside that compression cube. So just take it out and put it in the other compression cube. And that leads me to another tip for packing. When you are packing in compression cubes, do not stuff them full. It needs extra air so that it can do its magic and compress the air. I've come to the assumption once again, after 11 years of trying this, since one of my first videos of testing these packing methods, that the rolling and the folding take up about the same amount of space in compression cubes. And remember, when you are testing methods to move things around like Tetris in your suitcase so that it maximizes the space that you will need for your other travel essentials. The travel tip and trick number 2 is to drape your pajamas on the other side of your clamshell suitcase, or if you have the regular type of suitcase, put it in there, because when you do close the lid of your suitcase, it will compress because pajamas are so thin and flat. The Cedo compression cubes come in a set of 4, I believe, and they have a really long one for your shoes that could also pack a puffer vest like I did when we went on a trip recently. I fit the entire puffer vest in that cube, and then you can take it out mid-flight and use it as a lumbar support, or put a sweater, a blouse in it, some socks and undies. In case your luggage goes missing, you've got the essential clothing for a couple of days. I keep looking at the wrong end of the camera. I think it's turned different way today. Shoes take up the most amount of space when packing and carry-on luggage, so you are going to try and keep it to 2 to 3 pairs of shoes. One travel tip is that the shoes do not have to be packed together. With something like loafers, you're going to see which area they fit into the easiest, but one travel hack is to lay them flat over the handles of your suitcase, because when you close your suitcase and put other items on top of those loafers, they can compress even more. Here are a few travel tips that I want to remind you of when packing. Trial and error are going to help you test and know which method works best for you. Know the shoes that you must pack because you've checked the weather compared with your activities you're going to be doing, and keep it to only packing 2, maybe a third pair of really flat dressier shoes. And then remember, you also are wearing another pair of shoes in the airplane. Wear your heaviest shoes in the airplane. You can pack your shoes in a produce bag, a free newspaper bag, gallon bags. If you're traveling in the fall season where you might have lots of rain, I have 13 of the best waterproof and water resistant shoes that are specifically for travel comfort, travel outfits that are neutral that you can watch. And I'll also put it in the description box below with all of the links. Thanks for your time, and be easy on yourself. Have grace.